Welcome to the U-Goboy podcast. I'm U-Goboy. That's Mongo. It's 106 miles to Chicago. We got a half full tank of gas, half a pack of cigarettes. It's dark, and we're wearing sunglasses.
Hit it.
Whoa. Hey, this a vibe, nigga. Whoa. Woo. Securing the bag, I need more. Hey, 3P Jordan. Whoa. Woo. I can't keep it on the low. This a whole vibe. I don't need a plug, no cosign. Thinking out loud, that's a gold mine. Mask on, yeah, COVID-19. Baby mama, yeah, looking like Rihanna. Rest in peace to George, rest in peace Brianna. Still kicking like Van Damme with my niggas in Amsterdam. Yo, 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 yo. What's up, what's up, what's up, what's up, what's up? What's up, what's up? Mark, do the bomb thing. Do the bomb thing. Bombs away. Bombs away. Bombs away.
Let's go.
Oh. You love to see it. You love to hear it. This is Mark's favorite part. Clearly.
Cannon.
Is this what you want? Is this what
I
you
love
want?
it.
That was my favorite part. That was definitely my favorite.
I love it. It's your boy! You go, boy!
You go, boy.
Thank you for tuning in to another lovely episode of the U-Goboy podcast, live from Bravery Studios in lovely Garfield, New Jersey, and we are live. This is the inaugural live episode of the show. I'm U-Goboy. You know who this is? If you've been living under a rock, that's Mongo. The dynamic duo. Hold up. We're live, so I'm going to show the back of this hoodie.
There we are. We're on a shirt. You know we need business.
We're on the hoodies. We're on the hats. Get tight on that. Get tight on that hat. Get tight on that hat. Get tight on that hat. Yeah. All that good stuff. So this is, you see this face, you see that face. It's time for some sports talk. Oh yeah. Give me a Chris Tucker. Give me a Chris Tucker. Let's go. All right. So we are live from Bravery Studios. Huge.
Is this what you want?
There we go.
This is all I want. This is all I wanted.
That's all I want for Christmas.
All I wanted.
We got the drop god, Marv, the marvelous one, Marv Perdomo,
Marv.
on the boards. I love it. He's got his
He
own
now
drop
drops
too.
himself.
He drops himself now. I
awesome.
love to see it.
I love that.
So yes. So real quick, some housekeeping real quick. So just to clear up any confusion, I've gotten a couple texts and a couple of messages here on the socials. It's still U-Goboy88 on all digital platforms, but also U-Goboy Media on YouTube. So we got two channels now, U-Goboy Media for the podcast, U-Goboy88 for all the music. So podcasts and podcast clips will be on U-Goboy Media, and U-Goboy88 is for all the music. And we got a new music video on the way, Captain Planet, produced by Killer Cake and my main man A1 Vision and I Might Snap. The dynamic trio
Yatzee.
of people behind me. Give me 5 more Yatzees. Give me 5 more Yatzee.
Yatzee.
Yes, Sirski. So yes, we got a brand new video on the way. That song is available on all digital platforms, but we are live here. Live. Real live. Live. You see the logo. You see one beard. You see another beard. You see the hat. You see the glasses. It's Sports Talk!
Yes.
Mongo, you ready, dude? How you been, dude?
I have been great. When it's not between 1 and 7 o'clock on a Sunday. Otherwise, I have been great.
I love it. So, a lot to talk about tonight here and on Sports Talk. How do you want to kick things off? We could start with your Jets. We could start with the Cowboys. We're going to make this is pro, since the Yankees aren't playing. They're not doing anything.
Thanks, guys. Go work.
Thanks, guys.
Go work. We gave you one job. Be good. What'd you do? You were mediocre.
The opposite. So we'll just stick with football. We're gonna do Cowboys talk, of course. Can't get a hat about them Cowboys. Not after last night, but I'll take it here. And can I get a Jets? Jets. Oh yeah, the Jets chose violence yesterday against the Broncos
And against their own playbook. That was a war. I don't know who they were fighting, but they were ready to fight anyone, anything, and themselves along the way.
Yeah.
It was an adventure.
I didn't know in Denver that they chose fisticuffs over there. I thought it was a peaceful state.
They also
Colorado.
choose to try and bounce past their double reverses, which was very helpful for the Jets. That was disastrous.
Yeah. So, but anyway, like the video, subscribe to the channel. Again, the chat is open, so feel free to drop comments. Feel free to, of course, like and subscribe if you haven't already, as well as to like the video, share it, all that good stuff. Hit the bell, all the social media whistles. Shout out to my main man Jason Enrique out there in the chat. First class, second place, as well as Bravery, Bravery, Yo Bravery Sports. We got new episodes on the way of that as well. So, but let's dive right into it, Mongo. Cowboys lost 42-10 to the San Francisco 49ers. I'm wearing CM Punk. Get tight in on me. I'm wearing CM Punk's shirt, so I'm gonna drop some pipe bombs. Shout out to Phil Brooks himself, the GOAT. Pipe bomb. Give me 5 more of those. Give me 5 more of those.
That's about half of what he's about to do.
Yeah. So shout out to Punk. Love you, dog. Might be in the WA pretty soon. Who knows? But yes. So Mongo, Cowboys lose 42-10. Before I start to unleash, what were you expecting coming into that game last night?
43-10. So I think they should be very proud of what happened.
Give me 2 savages.
Savage. I will be honest. I did not expect that by any means. We have said from the very beginning, the NFC is supposed to be a 3-horse race with Detroit, the safest 4th place bet in the history of 4th place bets, right? They are better than the other 12 teams, but there is a clear top 3. And now I will say the loss of Diggs hurts, and I know you're going to talk about that more, but that shouldn't affect the entire team, particularly the offense. That if anything, you should see the offense rally. You saw, we'll talk more about the Jets, but later on, but you see the tiniest things they're doing. They're starting to come together. They're starting to show signs of being a team. Dallas should already be a team.
Yeah.
A lot of those pieces and a lot of those key pieces were in place last year. There's no reason that they should ever look that lethargic.
Yeah.
And so even if they had lost, 50-30 just because, San Francisco has a Pac-10 style offense that scores every single time, okay, well, you got to figure out how to stop that. But it was clearly just one team was working harder.
Like the video, subscribe to the channel. There's a lot to unpack. So much to unpack. Let's go piece by piece. Can I get 5 more pipe bombs? Get 5 more CM Punk pipe bombs? That's Mark's favorite drop now. Oh my goodness. So coming into the game, I didn't expect for us to win. I mean, I picked us to win on Braverly Sports, but I picked with my heart.
And I will say real quick, in your defense, when Dallas Go-Boy brother made an appearance a couple weeks ago, if you missed that, check that out. But he said he'd be back in a couple weeks because he didn't expect to be bragging last night. So this is not you backpedaling. You said all along, we'll see in a couple weeks when we get back on track.
Big facts. I feel like this was very similar to the Arizona game in the sense that somebody didn't show up. This time it was everyone, though.
Yeah.
It was everyone. So let's just backtrack here. The 49ers put the Cowboys out of the playoffs the last 2 years in the wild card round with Jimmy Garoppolo and again last year with Brock Purdy. Everything the Cowboys did in the offseason, you felt like they were reinforcing and refortifying everything to beat them. All right, you bring back Hankins up the middle to beef up the middle. You sign Mozzie Smith. I mean, you draft him in the first round to beef up the middle. You bring back pretty much the gang's all here. You brought back Dante Fowler and Donovan Wilson. You brought back everybody, and you go out and get Gilmore to go with Diggs. You made moves to fortify pieces strategically on the defense to combat Philadelphia and San Francisco, and it looked like just halfway through the game, screw that, a quarter into the game,
that's fair,
that they had taken a step back. They didn't record a first down until the second quarter. 6 of their first 7 drives were 3 and outs. So as much guff as we've given Kellen Moore for being trash at his job, and situationally he still is with the Chargers, how's that working out? The offense looks so lost and overwhelmed yesterday. Just overwhelmed. It looked like they had no business being on the field with them. And, I'll ask this question. I'll tee this up for you. Why did the offense look so lifeless going through? Was that more so the 49ers just have this 85 Bears defense and they do that to everybody? Or does Mike McCarthy not have a plan on how to use his personnel? Because from a personnel standpoint, everybody was there. Gang's all here. CeeDee Lamb was there. Cooks was there. Pollard was there. Schoonmaker, the tight end you drafted. Ferguson was there. The offensive line was intact for the first time since 2021. No injuries on the offensive line. Gang's all here. Why did the offense not work yet again?
I'll give you the micro answer and I'll give you the macro answer, and I feel stronger about the second one, to be quite honest. It looked like Dallas knew first taste of blood for San Francisco, they didn't have a chance. And it was that absolutely most freakish fumble I've ever seen from Tony Pollard.
Yeah. Thank you, Fred
And
Warner.
That was one of the wildest bounces by anything in the history of physics. But
You texted me when that happened.
I did. I usually leave you alone during Cowboy games, but I had to make sure wellness checks were needed after that insane.
Life
That was
alert-
like watching Plinko.
My
I mean,
life
that
alert
was-
button was pressed a couple times. Give me a Dom DeMarco for that, for sure.
Dom
Go ahead.
DeMarco.
But so they get the fumble off the Cowboys. The Cowboys get it back. But right after that, the Cowboy game plan seemed to be much more timid for a little while.
Agreed.
Almost like, if we try to get cute again, they're just going to take it right back from us.
Mm-hmm.
And they almost played scared until the game was out of reach, and then trying to get back into it in any way. Then they were just playing reckless and it didn't do them any good. But I really felt like last night was overcompensation for, in that Cardinal game, I really felt like McCarthy was being too cute at times, particularly when he got down near the end zone. And it almost felt like he was determined to not make that same mistake, especially against a team that can definitely make you pay. He thought he can get cute against the Cardinals because the Cardinals were actively trying to lose at that time in the season, according to most of us with eyes.
Yeah.
So against San Francisco, you can't do that. I think he overcorrected. I think he came out with way too conservative of a game plan, and then by the time they, then they realized that's not going to work. It was over. But to me, the bigger issue is when you look at San Francisco's offense and how Dallas handled it on defense. It's not like San Francisco broke out anything new.
No.
You know when that Kyle Juszczyk, cross pass is coming.
Yeah.
You know when Debo's doing what he's doing. You know where Ayuk's going. You know Christian McCaffrey. You know these guys. You know what they're capable of. You know what their playbook is.
Yep.
You should be able to stop something. I mean, San Francisco just absolutely had their way doing the most. I mean, you could have set up Madden defenses. You knew what was coming, and they just couldn't stop them at all.
Like the video, subscribe to the channel. Shout out to everybody in the chat. Shout out to Jason Enrique. Yay. Shout out to my boy Deji. He's a Giant fan, so don't worry. I'm going to rag on you guys. I promise. Give me two savages there. But
Savage.
So we'll get back to the offense because there's so much to unpack here.
We could have done multiple hours on the couch. I mean, that was.
I wish my therapist was here, but that
was epically bad.
What I'm saying is my issue with let's get to the defense. Let's get to the 49ers defense. See, this is what the 49ers do, and they do it at an elite level. So this is arrogance / skill. They run cover 3. They run some cover 2. A lot of press man, like a lot. Probably like 60-40 press man. Like, we're going to punk you at the line. If you get off and we get flagged, so be it. But you're going to feel us when you play us. So, press man, cover 1, cover 3, whole game. And occasionally we'll blitz, once in a blue moon. But we don't have to because we've got Bosa and Armstead and Hargrave and Colin Farrell and Lions and Tigers and Bears, oh my. They've got, like, pass rushers galore. So, you knew that coming in. For the life of me, it looked like McCarthy just had never seen these coverages before. And let's go from McCarthy to Dak. Dak looked lost. He looked lost. Like let's slowly transition into Rain Dakota Prescott, first of his name. One of the worst games he's ever played.
Yeah, for sure.
Easily. 1 touchdown, 3 interceptions. 3 interceptions. Passer rating definitely below QBR2 well below 100.
Oh yeah, for sure.
Like one of his worst games, and just throwing into double coverage, throwing into windows and areas of the field that you have no business. I was at shout out my buddy Rob Mega in Clark. I went to his house to watch the game. When he threw the hope and a prayer interception picked off by Gibson, I went home. I was like, yeah, it's about time to head out.
I give you credit for staying that long, to be quite honest. It was over well before that.
I mean, I was just figuring, okay, maybe a spark, maybe they'll get something going or whatnot. That interception just let me know, golly, here we go. And then by the time I got home, when I tuned in again just to check in, he threw another pick like right on cue, like he was waiting for me. He's like, okay, Ugo's watching, interception. And then that's when I watched Suits and I was done for the night. Shout out to Suits on Netflix. Great show, by the way. So I don't understand why Dak looks so lost. And you start to ask questions now of, okay, this turnover problem was a problem last year, and you're not hurt, okay? Like, you could kind of pseudo blame it on the injury with the thumb and Kellen Moore being foolish, but you're healthy. You're not seeing the field. You're not reading coverages. You're throwing nonsense, and you look bad against a team that if you want to get to Vegas, you're going to have to see them again.
Absolutely.
Why does Dak look lost?
X-Files time, everybody.
I was waiting for this.
Investigation. Here we go. If you've ever watched this before, you know I go conspiracy at least once an episode.
Yeah.
On
Oh,
cue.
yeah. Oh, yeah.
Facts.
Big facts.
Dak Prescott, one of the most unnecessarily scrutinized quarterbacks in the league by virtue of being a Dallas Cowboy.
Yeah.
Facts. Brock Purdy, effectively the mama's boy of quarterbacks, right?
Yeah.
He is the golden standard for system quarterbacks.
Yo, give me a Dom DeMarco. That's a Dom DeMarco. Good.
I mean, it is what it is. If you are Dak, you are saying, I cannot come out of last night looking worse than Brock Purdy.
Mr. Irrelevant.
You're right. You cannot be worse than the store brand, basically, because again, and listen, I would love to have a quarterback who fits my team system perfectly, but if Brock Purdy was on most other teams, he wouldn't be a starter. I'm vehement of that.
You stand on that 10 toes down.
I absolutely. I wish I had an 11th toe. That's how vehement I am.
Give me three perfects.
And so I think Dak came out trying to prove something last night. I think, in fact, the whole team might have come out. That was a statement opportunity for Dallas because by virtue of being in the same division as the Eagles, San Francisco can pretty much mess around, get to 11 wins, and still be the 2 or the 3 seed.
Facts. Big facts.
The Cowboys and the Eagles might have to do better than San Francisco and still be the 5 seed.
Agreed.
And I think the burden of proof, so to speak, was on the Cowboys last night, and I think they, and Dak particularly, let it get to them.
Yeah. Like the video, subscribe to the channel. By the way, grab the merch. We got Sports Talk merch available now. You see that those 2 handsome faces. Grab the merch. It's in the link below after when this one is posted as well.
We're live, so I can do what I want.
Exactly. We got
Got
merch.
t-shirts too. We got everything.
You go, boy.
Yes, sir. Thanks. Shout out to Teespring. Shout out to Jeff Bezos. Also, if you want a dad hat, those are available at the live shows. But also, drop a comment. I will be gladly to send you one. So drop your email in the comment. We'll connect via email, and I'll send you one. Of course, $25 plus shipping and handling. But absolutely. So grab the merch. U-Goboy merch. Shout out to Teesprings as always. So we've got brand new episodes of Sports Talk on the way. We've got brand new U-Goboy episodes. That's it. It's like, nah.
You go, boy.
We're just getting started live from Bravery Studios. Let's keep it here after the quick reset. So
All right.
let's switch over to the defense.
Okay.
Micah Parsons, can I interest you in one pressure? Can I? Now, the Lion is always hungry. Penn State in the building. One of the top 3 defensive players, all-around players in football right now. No show. And granted, he was going against Trent Williams, a future Hall of Famer. But
For sure.
he wasn't going up against him every time.
No, because the whole gimmick is that he moves around.
He moves around.
He can
So
go wherever he wants.
can-
Why
he
did he
can-
have to go against
You
Trent
didn't have
Williams?
to go against him. You could literally just line up on their right tackle over center the entire game, but he chose not to. Micah's got a podcast on Bleacher Report. I'm sure they cut him a handsome check to do it, but you don't have a podcast, my brother, and no show like that in a game of this magnitude. And he's got some explaining to do. I was not a fan of him swapping jerseys and doing the photo op with Christian McCaffrey after the game. I wasn't. Give me Dom DeMarco real quick, please. Bro, you're not about to wax me 42-10 like Madden and then I post up with a selfie with you and throw it on the story. Like, bro, first of all, I'm gonna leave the game. I'm gonna quit the game if we're playing online, or I'll just dap you up real quick and just head to my car. Like, I remember one time I beat my brother in Madden. He almost left me. He almost hopped in the car and left me at a friend's house. That's how mad he was. Like, he didn't stay for a photo op afterward. And ironically enough, he's a 49er fan. But so, goodness gracious, wasn't a huge fan of that. Micah not showing up. Dan, and again, this was compounded by the offense not showing up. The defense, listen, they had a takeaway early on. They got to Purdy for a couple pressures, a couple TFLs as well. Christian McCaffrey didn't run wild. No. He didn't. He ran for about 45 to 50 yards, and they were hard, physical yards. They got home with a sack too. Jaron Kearse, who didn't play really that good of a game on Kittle, who had 3 touchdowns. The defense suffered in this game. And it definitely looked like Arizona. Maybe it's an NFC West thing. Who knows? Who knows?
I mean, why? I have no idea. That shouldn't make sense. Jaron Kearse looked like he was actively either just trying to hurt somebody or was paid to Pete Rose that thing.
Yeah,
I mean, that was
rough.
You want to talk about people who might have had the worst game of their career? I mean, that was real bad for Kearse.
That was rough. And JK is one of the leaders on this team. He's one of our best players. His pregame speeches are legendary, uncensored, of course.
He got in his own head though last night. I mean, he psyched himself. If you can psych yourself up, you can psych yourself out.
Not to mention in the last 2 meetings, Kearse has done a pretty good job on Kittle. Yeah. Like Kittle, especially the wild card game against Garoppolo, he kind of shut him down. He was a non-factor in that game. Last year in the playoffs, he was okay. He had the fluky bobble catch.
Right.
But he might, like, Kittle coming into the game gave the Michael Jordan, and I took that personally meme, 3 touchdowns. 3 touchdowns. He did whatever he wanted to do all across the field. We had a 3rd and 14 critical juncture in the game after we finally got a holding call. I'm not going to talk about the refs. And notice, this is on purpose. I'm not going to talk about the refs. When you get beaten bad like that, and a lot of bad tape out there.
Right, unless there were no refs.
Right.
They did not influence the ending
exactly.
of that
game. They're not gonna get a ref cop out. I mean, the refs were less than stellar, but it's the NFL. C'est la vie. You know that coming in. My issue was the defense didn't show up. They didn't show up, and we had a key 3rd and 14. Brock Purdy just dropped back after the holding call. It's like, okay, it's not 3rd and 4 anymore. All right, Debo.
Right, and I'll even go further on that. I'll say this to in Kearse's defense. At least he looked like he was desperate to do something.
Right.
You know, you alluded to it. No one particularly, other than Kittle in the red zone, no one particularly had an amazing game. It wasn't like you look and go, well, Debo just had 14 catches for 250 yards and 3 touchdowns,
right.
Like a Jamar Chase style game. Dallas was just flat on defense.
Yeah.
They weren't necessarily even bad. They were just flat. So if you don't know, I'm a teacher, and I was grading papers while I was watching last night, and literally I was just kind of every 5 minutes it felt like I would just hear out of the corner of my ear, touchdown 49ers, and I'd be like, I didn't even know they were driving. It was just they were just very sneakily moving their way up the field, and Dallas was just letting them roll over them over and over and over again. It was just it wasn't even necessarily bad. It was just disappointing. And as a Cowboy fan, I would rather that. I'd rather have the ending of the Jet game a couple weeks ago where you're just shaking your head at the incompetence of your team. Than looking and saying, do they really want to be there?
Yeah. No, totally. Like the video, subscribe to the channel. I mean, they got some soul searching to do. I mean, our bye week is coming up after this Charger game. This is going to be the Kellen Moore revenge game.
But at the same time, you want to feel better about your coaching.
Yeah.
Go play the Chargers.
For sure. We're going to talk about Dak. We have to. We're going to talk about Rain Dakota a little bit more. There's still a few more nuggets to unpack here with this game. I mean, listen, I've caped for Dak so many times on the show, as well as on Bravery Sports and on other podcasts with Chop. Shout out to Chop City. Love you, dog. The Cowboys have a tough decision to make with him because you got to think about this, man. There are some major contracts that are guaranteed that are coming up. CeeDee Lamb is going to get paid by the Dallas Cowboys, not by another team. He's not getting traded. Colin Cowherd or any of the other clown takes. CeeDee Lamb's not going anywhere. He's about to get paid. Micah Parsons is about to get a Bryce Harper contract.
He's going to get Oprah paid. I mean,
Oprah
that's
paid.
going to be a made-up number.
Big number. Infinity.
Yeah. Here's a 1. You start writing zeros until you get bored. It's going to be
pretty much
be that style.
Pretty
check.
much. Straight cash on me. Straight Randy Moss. So those two are guaranteed. And you're probably going to pay probably 1 or 2 more people on the offensive line, mainly the center, Biotish. He's coming up for a contract.
Yeah.
You just paid Steele. You just paid Trey Diggs. There's a reason why the Cowboys traded for Trey Lance. And me and Mongo talked about it off camera. I've talked about it with a number of people. Every good corporation has an insurance policy.
Absolutely.
I'm sure Bravery Studios has an insurance policy. Marv is nodding.
Marv too.
Jerry Jones, as much as he might say that he made the decision on his own, he consulted with Steven. He consulted with Will McClay. They made the move because, listen, yeah, we got this quarterback that is pretty much close to year number 10, and we haven't gotten past the divisional round. And he's putting up good numbers during the regular season, but we haven't gotten past the divisional round. And we've won multiple divisional titles, and we've beaten the Eagles a bunch of times. God knows how that 8 times with Dak on the center. But we haven't gotten past the divisional round. And there's a team in San Francisco, a team in Detroit that's building a juggernaut, a team in Philly that is continuing to build a juggernaut. Seattle actually has their stuff together. They're going to be a problem. You've got some teams in the NFC that are pretty much locked in to be contenders for the next few years. And we've got a quarterback that hasn't been past the divisional round. So are we about to? This is my biggest fear, bro. My biggest fear is we give the bag to the wrong guy. And I'm not saying Dak's the wrong guy. I'm not going to say that yet. This year is going to tell me a lot. These next 12 games are big for him and big for my determination of who he is and how I see him and how a lot of Cowboy fans see him. I don't want to end up like the Giants.
That's
the
fair.
Giants, where's my camera? Give me 5 savages, por favor. Load them up.
Savage.
The Giants gave the bag to the wrong guy.
Savage.
$160 million to Daniel Jones.
Savage.
And they tagged the wrong guy too. They tagged Saquon Barkley.
Savage.
I'm telling you, the Giants are regretting that. And they can't get off of that contract. Not even next year they can't.
No.
They're locked into that because there's a lot of dead money this year and next year. So they're stuck with that. And more than likely, they're 1-4 now. They'll be picking in the top 10, top 5 if they're going because their schedule gets more brutal.
Yeah.
They're going to be in the market for a quarterback. And still, when they do move on from Daniel Jones, they're still going to have to eat a lot of bad contract. If Stephen Jones and Jerry Jones and Will McClay see that guy who played yesterday for the Cowboys, they see that guy for the rest of the season, bro, and into the tournament if they do make it, and you get shellacked, one and done in a wild card round or again in the divisional round, would you be, as a GM, would you be comfortable signing a big long-term $40 to $50 million check long-term to a quarterback who you know that's waiting for you every year? I wouldn't.
Yeah, you know my answer. Absolutely not.
Yeah, the eyes told the story. The eyes told the story. No. And trust me. Trey Lance, again, he's on the team for a reason. And they're developing him. And mark my words, as God is my witness. If Dak continues to show these colors in key critical games against the best of the best, he won't get a long-term contract.
Yeah.
I'm sorry. He won't get one from Dallas. He'll get one from someone because it's a quarterback league. Belichick will take him in a Boston minute with what they got going on with Mac Jones. But trust me, he won't be in Dallas because they'll hit the reset button and they'll see what they have in Trey Lance. And if he's not the answer, they'll go in the draft because tying money to something to a bad stock, that's not good business.
Yeah.
That's not good business. So my question to you before we move on, how big are these? He's got a couple big more tests. I say against Philly twice.
Absolutely. That's 100% because you can look back and you can say, because again, if Dallas believes fully San Francisco's not a threat because they can't actually in theory, pass San Francisco.
Right.
You know, in theory, if you win the division, you want to lose to San Francisco, right? You want to be the 2, so
Right.
you don't have to go through both Philly and San Francisco in the playoffs.
True.
So for all we know, this was planned, right? If they come out and they beat Philly by 100, you know, this is what they wanted all along.
True.
So those are the absolute litmus tests for sure.
True. So Philly twice, Detroit.
Yeah.
Detroit. You play them later this year on I think on the NFL Network. That's a Saturday game, I believe. Seattle.
great game.
Seattle. That's actually going to be a big game. They're going to be a playoff team. Seattle's one of those tests.
And Dallas can't beat the West Coast. We know
Yes,
this.
here we go.
We've
It's
seen
NFC West.
The West Coast theory is on.
And switching over to the AFC, they got to play at Buffalo and at Miami.
Not easy.
So if yesterday's Dak, can I get a yesterday's price is not today's price?
Yesterday's price is not today's
We're
price.
live, baby! Marvelous on the board.
we had that one. That one might be my actual favorite.
I love that you had that queued up already. Good job, Marv. If yesterday's Dak is today's Dak,
Gone.
He's gone.
Yeah.
He's gone, and McCarthy might be gone by association. Guilty by association.
And that's okay because the whole thing was let's blame Kellen Moore, right?
Right, yes,
If he's
yes,
not there,
yes.
It clearly wasn't, you know, he's not there. It can't be his fault. Someone has to take the blame. Here's what Dallas has to be super careful about. With Mahomes obviously being an unfair gold standard, but you'll understand the category here. If you told me a team had Patrick Mahomes and 52 pull names out of a hat, you know, have a hat tournament, I'd still believe that team can win on any given Sunday.
Right.
And if you make a list of those guys, I do consider Jalen Hurts on that list just because of what he can do with his feet. I consider Josh Allen in that list. I consider Burrow on that list when he's healthy, obviously. When you look at the rest of the NFC, especially with the younger ones being not off to a hot start, Dak is probably middle or even slightly above middle.
Yeah.
But what I really hope for your sake is Dallas recognizes that's not a reflection of who he is. That's a reflection of what's below him.
Yeah.
And
good point.
You could put Trey Lance in there, and you can still make a case that Dallas has the second best quarterback in the NFC East. and so why are you spending infinity dollars to guarantee yourself something that's pretty guaranteed anyway?
Yeah.
You're going to draft a guy in the 3rd round. He's going to be in the hunt for second best quarterback in the NFC East next year if nobody does anything.
Yep.
So it would
Good point.
really be nuts for them to give him the bag, as you say. Speaking of which, and I think this will transition nicely here, the Jets also gave the bag to a quarterback, and we can't confirm whether or not that's a euphemism for drugs.
Give me 5 Dom DeMarcos. Depending on what state. Yeah. Give him the bag of peyote. Like the video, subscribe to the channel. U-Goboy Media. Remember, U-Goboy Media and U-Goboy 88. Those are the 2 channels. Those are the 2 motherships for the U-Goboy Media for the podcast, U-Goboy 88 for the music. So, and again, thank you for all the subscribers across all the platforms. You guys have blown up this podcast to smithereens. Thank you so much. Round of applause for all the subscribers. We got a lot of them now. As well as the followers on the TikToks and this, that, and the third. We're closing in on 500,000 on TikTok, by the way. Give me a Ric Flair. Give me 10 Ric Flairs. I haven't heard Rick yet. Only heard him in the intro. I gotta hear him now. Yes, Sirski. Yes, Sirski. Yes, Sirski. Shout out to Deji, too. He's got a bunch of comments. Let me get to one of these comments he put. He said, we all know your DC is your new head coach. give me a savage there.
That's fair.
Give me a savage there.
Savage.
And he also promises the Giants will be back. That's savage because it's not true.
I mean, mathematically, they will be. It might be in the 2030s. I mean, statistically, they'll be back around at some point.
Who's keeping score?
Right.
So, yeah, Cowboys need to get it together. So, to your Jets, can I get JDTS? Jets. So, you guys, yesterday's game looked personal, sounded personal, with Hackett going against his former club.
Absolutely, my boy, My fearless leader.
And you guys play Denver every year. I think Denver's in the AFC East now. Evidently, they're not in the West anymore.
I'll take it. Listen, we will never go 0-17. I'll say that.
So
Remember, this was the game we lost Hall and Vera Tucker in and managed to find a way to win last year.
Exactly. Vera Tucker out for the year yet again. But Sauce is healthy.
There were a lot of dangerous moments, particularly Mekhi Becton going down every third play for about half a game yesterday.
Yeah.
Now, I'll tell you though, that game, when you win a game like that, it feels like you've won an Oscar. And if you don't mind, I would, in the spirit of winning an Oscar, I would just like to thank some of the little people in my life.
Let's get this round of applause going for that.
If you have any sound to cue up here, we're live, so I can get away with this. The first person I would like to thank is Matt Ryan, who I hope you were watching on TV yesterday. If you weren't, try and Google it. Try and find a way to watch the CBS coverage from yesterday. Matt Ryan is that teacher who, when you get a D, tells you why at least it wasn't an F. Matt Ryan is the sweetest thing I have ever heard.
Two cannons.
He makes you feel so good about the mediocrity that is Zach Wilson. Literally, he was talking about how impressive he was with his, aptitude to stay in the pocket and make some tough decisions while they were showing a montage of turnovers. Like, literally, as only Matt Ryan can get away with. So, first of all, Matt Ryan, thank you. Second of all, Sean Payton, thank you, because not many coaches can lose a game like that. That was impressive. The Jets were trying to give it to you, and you returned it like an Olympic volleyball player. Anything they served your way, you hit it right back. Because, man, that was a bad game.
Yeah.
To be quite frank, that was. Yeah. Here is what we know so far from that Denver game. We know that the Jets roster, particularly that defense, is good enough to beat a bad team even on a bad day.
Yeah.
Which we knew all along. That's not any breaking news. And we know from the Bills W that when the defense is immaculate, they can beat anybody, which is true of probably every defense in the league, but they just have the ability to actually do it.
Yeah.
In short, we're 2-3, and we've really learned nothing. Which,
Dom DeMarco.
which, when you have a young team that you're gonna have to be paying soon, right? These guys are, a bunch of these first-round picks are now in their second and third year. You're gonna be paying them soon.
Wilson's contract's coming up. Sauce's contract's coming up. Vera Tucker, he's gonna ask for money at some point.
Jermaine Johnson, all of a sudden, might be the best of that bunch. I mean, he's right there. He was the one who actually looked like a competent NFL player yesterday.
That's saying a lot.
He was the best piece of the puzzle yesterday. But in a year with Aaron, once Aaron Rodgers goes down, you got to get something out of this season, right? You need to look back and not just say, well, year one was a waste, we'll get him next year.
Yeah.
And if you're going to do that, well then, get everyone out of there. Why are you letting Al Woods play? I mean, don't get me wrong. I told you back in the summer, Al Woods, money. Quentin Jefferson, money.
Yeah, you love those additions. Yes.
Morstead might be the best player on this team. I told you back in the summer that was a key addition.
That's the puncher, by the way, for those who keep the score at home.
Who leads us to a safety every week. We basically start 2-0 nowadays, thanks to Thomas Morstead,
It's gotta be a record.
who then sprints down the field faster than Jesse Owens to celebrate with his teammates. The man is legend. I adore Thomas Morstead. But again, the whole point was that you got those veterans to not make mistakes so that the rookies could make the big plays facilitated by Aaron Rodgers.
Yeah.
Well, that sentence no longer makes sense.
True. So
let's see what we can actually do with this team. And so far, we've really done nothing other than what we kind of expected to be. We beat bad teams, and when we don't play well, we lose to everybody. I mean, that makes sense. So
still lose to the Patriots too.
And of course we lose to the Patriots. That's fair too.
Like the video, subscribe to the channel. Remember, U-Goboy88 on his YouTube channel, as well as U-Goboy Media on the two channels.
You
for
go,
sure.
boy.
sticking with the Jets. So
I got a lot. Don't worry.
I know.
I'm letting you set me up before I.
I love it. I love it.
And there's a certain friend of the show I need to give credit to here at some point.
For
but
sure.
please, hit me
And,
with
and speaking of the Jets, shout out once again Jason Enrique. He's a Jet fan. Joe Beningo.
That's who's coming,
Joe
Joe.
Beningo.
Joey, I hope you're watching tonight because you're about to get your moment right here.
Joey B will be a future guest once again for the second time.
My best friend.
He'll be coming back. Shout out to Kenny Pikowski for the Harlem Wizards. He's a huge Jet fan as well. We're gonna get him. Fireman Ed.
Fireman Ed.
We're gonna try to get you on the show too, buddy.
Yes.
For sure.
Come on.
Sure. And Jerry Jones. We're gonna try to get you on the show. If you can make some time, buddy.
You know what? We'll come to your place for that.
Oh, we'll come to you. We'll come to you. We'll have it. We'll have it casting on the big board.
Yes.
On location at AT&T Stadium, coming to a church basement near you. But my next question for you, Mongo. So, at quarterback, listening to how you discussed Zach Wilson's. I don't know what you want to call it. That performance yesterday,
Gritty.
Gritty. Do you see him developing? Because I mentioned this on Yo Bravery Sports. He kind of catfished you guys. Like he had a great workout, Patrick Mahomes-esque, but he was never properly developed to play at this level, in my opinion. Do you feel like by season's end or by midseason when Trevor Siemian is under center, who knows, or Tim Boyle, who knows?
One man can dream.
Man can dream,
Tim Boyle.
Do you feel like Zach is developing into at least a serviceable quarterback, or do you just see a guy that's just going through the motions and Salah's just like, well, he's got to play?
I'll start with a direct answer.
Okay.
Yes, dude is developing.
Okay.
Dude is getting better. Now, it helps that he has become smitten with Tyler Conklin. I mean, he has a security blanket. Garrett Wilson can catch, basically has an orbit. If it gets anywhere near Garrett Wilson, it is money. Breece Hall running the ball 90% of plays definitely also helps. It takes the pressure off of him. But there's clearly improvement. Now, the decision-making still is not good.
Less than desired.
I would say bad. And so in that sense, and that's the thing. The skills are getting better, but the two things, if he's not making better decisions, it doesn't matter. In fact, it actually hurts. If he becomes more confident that he can make any throw, the decision-making just gets worse because now there's more bad ideas out there for him to think are good ideas. The second thing is what matters more than anything is last year, if you remember, the team gave up on him.
Yeah.
Particularly his teammates. If you remember, Quinnen Williams literally, my favorite tweet of last season was when Quinnen Williams said regarding San Francisco's quarterback fiasco in the playoffs when everyone was getting injured, basically, now you know how we felt when we didn't have a quarterback or something along those lines.
And in the Joe Beningo episode, you had cited that's when you would realize that Zach Wilson.
And that's exactly when I said Zach Wilson was done. And he's looking more competent this year on the field. But again, they reported yesterday that he came out this week and said that last week in that Kansas City game was the first time in his NFL career that he genuinely felt a coach believed in him.
Right.
Dude, you don't have a new coach. Saleh was your coach last year. You are basically saying you have never felt that Robert Saleh has trusted you. And you expect him to keep you on his team? You've effectively said, I don't think this coach believes in me.
Give me 2 Don DeMarcos. Give me 2 Don Cannons.
Cannon.
He seems to actively go out of his way to say things that make you A, dislike him, and B, distrust him. And that's as a fan. So as a player,
that's a lot.
When my
That's heavy.
livelihood, when my success in this league depends on a guy who genuinely makes you cringe at anything he says, you can't have a long career in this league. It's just, it's absolutely impossible.
Like the video, subscribe to the channel. U-Goboy Media, U-Goboy 88. I'm gonna have like dueling signs by the next episode for sure. We're live from Bravery Studios. Marvelous is on the board. The drop god. Love you, Marv. Love you, Marv. Can I hear that Marv drop again? I actually love it. I love it. Shout out to everybody in the chat too. Appreciate you guys. We did have a question earlier. Shout out to, again, Jason Enrique, my main man. Is Dak still that dude, or is it Trey Lance time yet? Let me answer that real quick before we get back to reviewing the NFL 5 weeks in, and then we'll take it on home. No, it's not Trey Lance time yet because Trey Lance is a rookie. Trey Lance is in He's in year one. I know he's in what? This is his third year?
Yeah, I mean, it feels like his 10th, but yeah, third.
This is essentially his rookie year. The front office and Mike McCarthy quickly from the tape and from meeting him realized, yeah, you were never actually taught to play the quarterback position at San Francisco because they don't develop quarterbacks there. No, they just basically, Kyle is like, run my offense.
Right.
Oh, you can't run my offense? All right. Hand the ball off. Oh, you can run my offense. Okay, I can work with you. Again, like you mentioned, Brock Purdy, who I'm giving credit, he's playing out of his mind, but he played 10 years of college, so he is much more developed at reading coverages and seeing and analyzing film and analyzing getting the ball open and so forth. And he's in simpatico. He's a seasoned second-year quarterback. Trey Lance, not too many snaps at North Dakota State, that juggernaut of a school or whatnot.
Right. Also, remember, when you're drafted in the first round and then you come in and you're told, by the way, anything you think you're going to be allowed to get away with, nope, you're doing exactly what I tell you.
Exactly.
I don't blame any 22-year-old, 21-year-old for having an attitude about that. When you're barely drafted, if they tell you that you're going to be throwing while getting mauled by a lion, you're going to take a shot at that. I mean, you're going to do anything you need to do, to make that team. So Brock Purdy comes in with a better mindset. He comes in with more experience, and some people are just better. We call them blue collar workers, in the workforce. But some people are just better at being workaday heroes, and Purdy seems to be better at that than Lance.
Yeah. So it's not going to be Trey Lance time until the organization knows unequivocally that Dak is not the guy, that Dak can't beat the good teams. He has not elevated his game. He has not evolved as a quarterback. Because again, this is I'll give this analogy again. If you give a student, you're a teacher, of course.
Absolutely.
You give a student a take-home exam. Open book take home. You got 3 days to do it. Don't even bring it back to that tomorrow. Bring it back in 3 days.
Okay.
You get it back, and then all 12 answers are wrong. Is it your fault, or is it the student's fault?
It's the students.
It's the students. They got rid of Kellen Moore. They simplified the offense. They installed plays that cater to his strengths. They brought in and traded for Brandon Cooks. They have some guy named CeeDee Lamb who's a top 5 wide receiver. They've got Michael Gallup, who's one of the best number 2 receivers. They drafted you an extra tight end who's a pass catcher to go with the pass catcher you already have in Jason Ferguson. Now you've got Schoonmaker, and you have one of the best offensive lines in football. If you still can not read coverages and score points at a serviceable rate, and you're still throwing picks in terrible coverages, you're not a franchise quarterback. You're just not. Can I get a Dom DeMarco? And a Ric Flair. And a Yatzee.
Not enough Yatzee.
Not enough Yatzee. 5 more Yatzees.
Not enough Yatzee, not enough Tucker would be my two complaints of the evening.
So no, it's not Trey Lance time yet. And I pray that it's never Trey Lance time. I pray that Dak gets it together.
Right.
But he's in year 9, I think.
A lot.
Yeah, year.
Well, where you should already know who you are.
Year a lot. He's in year a lot. He needs to be better.
Now, this may be the Matt Ryan trajectory, who seemed to be in the league for about 25 years as an early as the Phil Mickelson of the NFC.
Phil Mickelson. Give me 2 savages. I like it. I'll allow it.
Savage.
And then, all of a sudden, at the end, he managed to find his way into a Super Bowl. And listen, because I like you and I like doing the show, I do secretly root for the Cowboys. Again, as a Jet fan, I really don't care what happens for much of it.
I appreciate that.
But if they can somehow win the division, finish in the 2 seed, and then lose 42-0 at home to Detroit in the first round, that actually does you some favors. If they lose on like an overtime field goal to the Eagles in the second round of the playoffs, have mercy on you guys making that decision. Like, as much as I'd root for you, for your sake, for them to win a Super Bowl, you almost hope that if they get knocked out, it's ugly.
Right.
You want Dak to just be knocked out. You do not want this to be a decision, really.
Yeah, because that right there, like the video, subscribe to the channel. U-Goboy88, U-Goboy Media.
You go, boy.
That right there is going to kind of force their hand in making a decision. Okay, this is not working with this quarterback, and this is not working with this coach. Because Mike McCarthy's not going to get the Jason Garrett grace.
No.
He's not going to get
nor should he.
Nor should he, because no coach should. Okay,
Right.
let's just preface that. No, I know with the Jets that's definitely not the case with your coach Carousel. So no. If you prove to me that you can't put the pieces together to make a run at some point in your tenure, 3 years in, maybe 4 years in, yeah, you gotta go. You gotta go. It was over. To me, I was out on Jason Garrett after the second straight 8-8. Mind you, he had 3 straight 8-8s to start his tenure. 24-24 to start his tenure. I'm getting PTSD. But
Just Jeff Fisher.
Jeff Fisher. It could be worse. It could be Jeff Fisher. But yeah. So but to bring that on home until and then we'll wrap with week 5.
Can I give the?
Go for it.
I need to give a quick shout out here. It's to our boy Joe Beningo, but it's something he said when we went and visited his show at the Beningo Bowl a couple months ago. So the one thing that Joe Beningo, if you remember, was just super angry about was any fan who said, well, the one bugaboo to the season is the rough start, right? And he said, no, if you're going to be a Super Bowl team, you can't look at the schedule like that. You have to be able to beat everybody. Well, guess what? Without Aaron Rodgers, I think you're allowed to look at the schedule. I think you're allowed to start playing the win-loss game. And if you told me back in the summer that even with Aaron Rodgers, was there a chance that this team started 2-4 with losses to the Bills, to the Cowboys, to the Eagles, and to the Chiefs? I would have had to have said yes, that was at least a real possibility with Aaron Rodgers figuring things out, with the O-line getting solidified. And so there was definitely not I'm basically assuming they lose to the Eagles next week. There was never a world where 2-4 was a complete non-reality, but you look ahead after the bye then, Giants, very winnable game. Raiders, winnable game. Chargers, that's probably the only team out there worse coached than you at the moment. now you're
Savages right there. Shout out to Staley. How you doing?
Said a lot of unnecessary shots at the Chargers tonight. I apologize. I'm wired.
Wait. Staley, you're not good at your job. Kellen Moore, you're not good at your job. Continue.
Amen. But now you're 5-4, and there's still the Bills, the Dolphins, a couple tough games out there, but you still have the Texans out there, the Falcons, the Browns are on your schedule, the Commanders, the Patriots. These are all losable games with Zach Wilson, but they're also all winnable games. And even if they start 2-4 here, Jet fans, all I'm saying is when you start to look ahead, when you see that they're actually starting to improve, 10 wins is still mathematically pretty easily on the table. Now, please go trade for an offensive lineman at this point.
Please.
The adventure that is Max Mitchell, the adventure that is Mekhi Becton, the adventure. Listen, I think I'm the last Billy Turner fan left on the planet, but even the adventure that is Billy Turner is quite a lot. Find somebody. How Kelvin Beachum hasn't come over already from Arizona is beyond me.
Yeah.
But if they can find some trade assets there, shore that up. 9 or 10 wins, I think, is still reasonable. Now, again, the problem is in the AFC, that may still not be enough. We never know because of how top-heavy that thing is. But they can certainly be in it till the end. And to be able to do that without Aaron Rodgers would leave you with knowing that you now are going to have your first-round pick next year, so you can add to that offensive line, presumably. You got to feel good about doing that without Aaron Rodgers. The other thing I have to say real quick, I don't care if they traded it for 4 6th-rounders. How useless was drafting Will McDonald? That D-line. That Carl Lawson was a healthy scratch last night. Al Woods had a safety yesterday, and it's been a healthy scratch at times this year. They have so many guys. That was what they felt they needed in that moment.
Evidently.
It's just what a waste. And I hope that they have Plan B through Z actually written down before they go into the next draft. But that's my only complaint right now, that they effectively wasted this draft. But free agency was money, and the schedule's favorable. They got a shot at this still.
Of the wild card, I told the magic number is 9 or 8. 9 or 10.
Yeah, they're going to
mostly 9. I think 9. 9 is doable.
I mean, I told Joe Beningo they go 8-1 and get knocked out on the final week. Sorry, Joe. I still think I'm mathematically right on it. I feel real good about that accident. The Falcons look like they're actively playing for ties, so that's a very tieable game.
Like the video, subscribe to the channel. U-Goboy88, U-Goboy Media.
U-Goboy.
We've got about 8 minutes till we wrap. NFL talk. Let's just a little bit more NFL talk here.
Rapid fire. I'm ready.
Let's do a little rapid fire. Give me some bombs. Give me some bombs.
Oh.
Hey, give me a Chris Tucker.
Is this what you want?
Yes, it is.
Yes, it is.
Funny
This
you
is
should
exactly
ask.
what I
Is
want.
this what you want?
Thank you, Chris Tucker.
This episode of Rapid Fire is brought to you by U-Goboy merch. Grab yourself some
U-Goboy.
U-Goboy merch, as well as the We Outside After Work podcast, one of the best podcasts out, as well as the First Class Second Place podcast, as well as Cape Chris Abalo's podcast experiment, as well as Yo Bravery Sports. A lot of podcasts coming at you. A lot of podcasts coming at you. Like it warms my heart to be in the Bravery family. Another round of applause for Bravery for holding your boy down as always. And logo's looking good. Show's looking good. New episodes on the way, of course. But let's get some quick rapid fire and then we'll wrap. Deji, you're still in the comments. Drop some more questions if you got them. Actually, you know what? We got a quick question this is how we'll kick off rapid fire.
All right, I'm ready.
Will Dable lose his job because of Daniel Jones?
Oh, gosh, no. No, I think that will be chalked up as user. I think their GM might lose their job because of Daniel Jones. Yeah, I think Shane might be in trouble, but no, I think they really trust in Dable. I think he's fine.
Okay, Deji, feel free to add some more questions, man. He's the only one that's like questioning it up tonight.
Love it though. Bring him on.
My question for you, Mongo. Actually, let's rotate. Since live is different.
This is completely improv, by the way. We did not plan to do this.
Of course.
SNL. When I ask wins for the Falcons first, be ready. All right, I'm ready.
All right. So, how about this one? How many wins will the Cowboys finish with?
Ooh, I am gonna say 12. I think they figure it out.
I think
they right the ship. Yeah, I think they're good.
Okay, all right.
I think they'll sneak one back. Who wins the AFC North?
Ooh, that's good. That's
going
good.
for it.
I just want to say Cincinnati figures it out, especially if Burrow gets healthy.
I buy that.
If Burrow gets healthy, because he's refound his connection with Chase, and hopefully Dak can refine his connection with CeeDee Lamb. CeeDee Lamb had a good productive meeting with Mike McCarthy one-on-one today, which was beautiful. That was actually music to my ears because CeeDee he felt some type of way, as the kids say, after not being targeted when he was dead open a bunch of times last night. So, but back to the AFC North, I think the Bengals figure it out.
I like it. I like it, and I think I tend to agree mostly because I don't think I fully believe in the other three teams. I think I still believe in the Bengals most.
All right. How many touchdown passes will Kenny Two Gloves Pickett throw this year?
I genuinely don't know what number he's at right now, so I will say he throws another. I'll say he throws 12 the rest of the season.
Okay. Two gloves. All right, your turn.
All right, so mathematically, you got to figure Cowboys, Eagles, Lions. Somebody wins the NFC South. Seahawks, Niners.
Yeah.
That's 6.
Yeah.
Who's the 7 seed in the NFC?
Wow. Holding my feet to the fire there, man. Don't be shocked if the Rams, if Stafford stays healthy.
Ooh, okay.
Rams.
I'm not mad about it. Now, granted, that 7 seed might be getting in at like 7, 9, and 1.
Yeah.
I mean, it's the path is not that hard when you look around.
Mm-hmm. So don't be shocked about the Rams. South only gets one. I gotta stick with that.
That feels right. And that's by rule.
Yeah. Packers might sneak in there. If Jordan Love develops, don't be shocked. Deji, no, it's not the Giants.
Listen, Deji, as somebody who has picked the Falcons in my pick'ems every single week, we're all allowed to have that dark horse candidate for that 7 seed because, my gosh, is it wide open. I at this point have the Falcons actually winning the NFC South to throw a sneaky rapid fire in there. But it's probably not the Giants, just mathematically and because they're bad. But I really can't argue against any answer you give here. I mean, that's why I asked it because I'm really curious just who's drawing your attention. It's more just who's the cute girl across the cafeteria giving you're most noticing because they're all equally enticing at this point. That's 7 through 16 is wide open.
That's E on the Scantron. All the above.
All the above.
Do you think this is also from Deji? Do you think Giants will find a way to get Caleb Williams?
Oh, a man can dream. Here's the problem with that. The one win they have may already be too many for the Panthers to catch them.
That's two savages right there. Goodness gracious.
Savage.
There are some really. It has nothing to do with the Giants being that good. It has to do with the Bears not being able to get out of their own way. The Vikings being actually quite a bad team.
Then that's abysmal. Yeah,
The
that's
Panthers
something right
are
there.
bad. The Broncos are bad. I think the Raiders are actually way worse than people are even giving them credit for. Just
Oh, you
'cause-
mean Jimmy Garoppolo's not good? Oh,
Who knew?
Who would have thought? Who would have thought?
I'll do my own bomb sound effect.
Give me 2 bombs. Who would have thought? Who would have thought?
But so the Giants could easily end up, 5-12 and still not even be in the top, 6 or 7. Now the one thing working for them is, with the Bears having their own and the Panthers pick, those could easily be picks 1 and 4, and the Bears could not want a quarterback with either of those.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, so there's a chance, especially if some of these other teams with young quarterbacks can't figure it out. The Giants might be able to trade up. The one they have to really watch out for. There's no reason for Minnesota at this point not to draft a young quarterback and move on from Kirk Cousins.
Agreed.
And there's really no reason for Denver not to stash somebody behind Russell Wilson or just move on from Russ. So if the Giants can end up below Denver and Minnesota, meaning worse than them, they might be able to trade up to a team, but if either of those teams is in better position to trade, Giants have no chance at Caleb Williams.
Oh, yeah. Ask me the last one, and then we'll bring it on home.
Let's see. First head coach fired.
Ooh, you just coming for the kill, dude.
Coming for it.
That's an RKO right
You're
there.
allowed to count Nathaniel Hackett as a head coach. I'll let you off the hook if you want to say he gets fired before any head coach does.
Ooh, doggy. Oh, man. Matt Eberflus.
I can get behind that.
Yeah. The Bears are they're a train wreck and a half.
I'll give you a little home cooking here. Mike Vrabel is 100% my boy.
I love him too.
It should be him. I don't
won't be.
want it to be him, but I do want it to be him so he can come be on one of our coaching staffs. Mike Vrabel, please come on by. We need you, buddy.
Oh yeah, that was rapid fire. Rapid fire. Yatzee, all the Yatzees. Give me 10 Yahtzees. Give me 10 of them. Bring it on. All the Yahtzees. Big old Yahtzees.
Yatzee.
So, this was fun, buddy. We should do it again.
I agree.
Absolutely.
I agree. Maybe Nathaniel Hackett will be good by then. You never know.
Savage.
It's possible.
Well done, Marv. So let's put the hats on. Thank you for watching the U-Goboy podcast as always. Again, like the video, subscribe to the channel. U-Goboy88, U-Goboy Media, U-Goboy 88 on all digital platforms.
U-Goboy.
Go stream U-Goboy music. Jonah the Great, Juice vs. Sauce, 5-Star Dancer, Bruce Wayne Money, Tippin', Whole Vibe, Willie Beeman, All the Time, and Captain Planet. Go grab the merch. We got new episodes on the way of the pod. Joe Beningo will be here at some point. Jason Enrique will be here at some point. Marv will be here on camera for the first time at some point. We got new episodes. We got reels all over the place. Go watch Braverly Sports. And we'll sign off like that. Like this. That's the belt. That's the other belt. That's one fedora. That's another fedora. That's Mongo! Woo-hoo-hoo! I'm U-Goboy. We love you guys. Yatzee.
Whoa. Hey, this a vibe, nigga. Whoa. Woo. Secure the bag, I need more. Hey, 3P, Jordan. Whoa. Woo. I can't keep it on a low. This a whole vibe. I don't need a plug, no cosign. Thinking out loud, that's a gold mine. Mask on, yeah, COVID-19. Baby mama, yeah, looking like Rihanna. Rest in peace to George, rest in peace Brianna. Still kicking like Van Damme with my niggas in Amsterdam.
You go, boy.